you can do the thumbs up so that we hear what if you can hear or not. That will be the signal that you can all hear. If there is a problem, you can send me message as well. All right, let's start from here. The reason I wanted to have this call is to boost you guys up, boost us up, including myself. The way I am boosting myself up is keeping myself busy, keeping my focus up, and doing great things on a daily basis, and doing my great planning. So let's see. What I can see in different social media, our young generation. I'm very hopeful for them, and I'm extremely encouraged to note that our young generation having so much of knowledge and so much of modern education and focus globally. We are really lucky that we are connected to the world within seconds. You can get any information. Just think about it. 100 years back, or even 30 years back, there was no communications. 30 years back, there was nothing. So these days we are blessed with internet, and that has made our life completely different, easier, faster. And just imagine that if there was an epidemic like this 30, 40 years back globally, and if the world was completely disintegrated and disconnected, what would happen? We would not be able to communicate or see each other or talk to each other the way we are doing it today. So this itself is a big boost for us. This itself is a big tools for us. And now the question is how we use it. That I'm coming back later on. Now, I can see a lot of our people are a bit negative, and some of them are extremely positive. Some of them are saying, yes, I want to do this. Some of them, are saying, yes, I can survive. And some are expressing they cannot survive, they cannot do anything. And some of our people definitely are so in desperate condition that they lost their job probably, and they don't have enough money to survive and live and so on. Of course, these are definitely huge social and economic issues and problems in our society. We definitely need to look at that, but at the same time, we can't just be, if we are having problems and we are looking at the problems, then we will be inside the problems always. So what we need probably here is what I learned in my early life is two things. We have one mind, one brain, and one mind. Mind is brain. In fact, to me, whatever is the mind, it's here. It's not here. We say the heart is here. The heart, yes, heart has no function basically, because when we become emotional, it comes from here, not from there. Basically, it comes from here, and because when you go into a room where there is big music, and within seconds your brain catches it, and then you become like, in a dancing mood. But when you go to a house where people are mourning, you will see people are crying and desperate situation and all those. Then it attracts your mind, your brain, and it goes from there to your body, and it's it's making you sad and so on. So first of all, we need to focus on our brain, that how we want to structure, how we want to put things up. Brain is like a clay, it's a soft clay. Whatever you stick into this, it will keep it there. Like a camera, if you are remembering your stories, say when you were 10 years back, your mind camera is taking you when you were at the age of 10 years, and certain of your memories, it comes like much faster than the computer even. So we need to really set up our mind, set up our brain, set up our mindset. Our mind has two actions. one is positive, one is negative. So what we say is PMA, positive mental attitude, and NMA, negative mental attitude. This NMA is always saying you all negative things. Whenever you are trying to do something, whenever you are opening your eyes, it's coming as a big pandemic, like, oh, I don't have money. How I will survive? I don't have food. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have that. Oh, I have to go out. How I will go? I don't have the bus fare. I don't have the taxi fare. How I will go there? Oh, I don't have a good shirt. How I will manage myself? So I don't think I will be able to do this. The moment your brain says no, then that time it becomes everything no. Even a big potential, it becomes no. But when your brain says yes, when it's driven PMA with PMA, positive mental attitude, it can create tremendous amount of energy, I tell you, and you can achieve anything and everything that you dream of. So first of all, your mindset should be settled, and you should be driven by PMA, positive mental attitude. And from there, you need to go. So what we need is to set up our mind, always PMA, positive mental attitude. Think that you are going to do this, you will definitely, like if somebody is calling you and asking, hey, can you buy me something and deliver into my house? And now you are thinking, if you think 10 times, oh, there is Corona and there is police outside, there is this, there is MCO, there is lockdown and all those kind of things. And the other guy is probably saying, I'm dying, please help me out. So, it's a life-saving situation. But if you are thinking, oh, how I will go, there is police and all those, you will find no way. You will not even go out of your house, I can guarantee you. You will not. But if you are driven by positive mental attitude, you will not think about what is going to happen, whether police will beat you and arrest you, harass you, and all those, whether you will be affected by Corona or not. This will go away, I tell you. Immediately you will go out and you will make it. And that's how Columbus discovered US. That's how people went to the moon. That's how people, it's because of the belief. It's only the mindset, nothing else. Rest of them are basically the equipment and apparatus. This anybody can do. Rocket anybody can make. Even our boys and girls in Bangladesh can make a rocket easily. That's not a problem if they have been given the required funding and logistical services. They can do it for sure. I'm sure there are brilliant boys and girls, but the mindset is absent because our people, our boys and girls, they're unable to dream that they can do it. That's where basically things are getting wrong. So what we need is to set up our mind with the PMA, always stay in PMA. If you need to fast without eating, yes, I can. You will not die in 24 hours if you are, in any case, if you are sleeping a little bit late and then suddenly wake up and see there is Ajahn going on, and then suddenly you become puzzled and say, oh, I cannot fast because I have not eaten food. So you just drink a glass of water, and it's your trust, it's your will force, it's your your mindset. If you're with positive PMA, you will definitely fast. If you are with NMA, then you will think, I could not eat, I'm feeling hungry, I will be tired, I have not taken any water even, and so on and so on. My medicine has not been taken, so I might be having problems and so on. So then you will not be fasting for sure. And this is how our PMA, positive mental attitude, we need to really do some meditation if possible, even 2 minutes. You close your eyes and bring your mindset to better level, which is like when you are driving a car, then there is reverse gear and front gear. So if it is on a neutral end, then the car is standing by. So it's similar to this situation with the human beings. When you bring your mind to the neutral, better level, then it's basically um, neutral level, and keep yourself calm and quiet for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes is better. Then you get a lot of energy and PMA. That's how we have to set up our mindset. Our goal should be having a PMA, those who really want to be someone in their life. Someone means I hear a word that, oh, I'm very poor. What is the difference between poor and rich? To me, the poor person is who cannot dream to be somebody, who cannot dream, who do not have a dream. He or she is the poor person. Not that you don't have money, you don't have this. No, 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 I didn't have money. I started my life with 50 cents, 35 taka from my father only, 35. So it's very simple. And I created my kingdom. I created my my things. I created my money, and that's how it is. You don't need many things. You need only your intention. Is enough. Intention is not enough. In fact, it has to be burning will. That I'm coming back to the picture again. So these days, our intentions are not enough to give us a success. We need to have will force, and that should be burning will. What is burning will? You will be asking me questions probably. That what is burning? Burning will is something that basically do not allow you to sleep well. It burns always inside your brain. I must do it. I must have it. I must get it. I must do it. I must achieve it. That is how it is. That is burning. And if you have too many whale force, then it's not good. You need to have 1, 2, 3 max at a time, because one brain cannot. You try to catch 2 fish at one time, or you try to do 2 things at a time, cannot be done, because Allah has created us in that fashion that we can do only 1 thing at a time. But yes, we can do 1 thing at a time very fast, and at the same time we can, immediately we can do something. Like now I'm talking here and I want to see my phone. Will I be able to do both things together? No, it's not possible. There will be definitely disruption either here or in the phone. So it's better to have multiple priorities in life, but at the same time, what you need to do is you need to plan one by one, one by one, one by one. But it has to be very fast. The other day I was giving some words on disciplines, self-disciplines in Bangla for my viewers in Bangladesh normally. There I basically said something very, very basic about our society's problem, like our young generation and our beginning level workers, their mindset. I was telling them how to do this. Even this is applicable. Some of them, probably Bafi will agree with me. You have seen that video, right? So that video, and I have said that even these days, one thing, I'll just give you a funny example. When you are talking to somebody you who are working in the government sectors, you will find every government officials, when they talk, behind them, their chair has got a towel. So it's a towel culture. So what is the reason to keep this towel behind hanging on the chair? I don't understand till now. But that's something very nasty. I feel, it's not. It's something very nasty. I've never seen anywhere in the world that people are keeping a towel here. Even starting from our highest office till lowest office, you will find even our chief justice is having probably, or our president is having a towel in his chair sometime. So that has to be, stopped. Somebody needs to raise the voice and say that this is not fair. Like when I went to many VVIP's house or office, and then I have been given a cup of tea, and the moment I take the cup out of the saucer, my dress, I wear suits, and my dress is immediately destroyed by the the remaining the drop of tea or drop of water that is dropping straight away on my dress. And it's disgusting, completely disgusting. So the guy who has served me tea or water, he or she should have checked it whether there is some water at the backside. So that has not been done. And so the mindset, the the impression that I create about this person or about this whole office is not good. It's not going to be good, really. I'm not impressed. So this is what I was telling the other day, that there are a lot of ways, like in our life, personal life, even when those who are married, I think you guys will be experiencing this. Not many people will be talking about this. Like when you talk to your wife or your husband, then probably something happens that, that you close the door like with a big sound. It's unfair. That's where the problem starts, basically. So there is an art of doing each and every single thing in the world, and that can impress people. And I swear upon God, I tell you, I didn't have any extraordinary, charismatic educational background, education level, and so on. Like all of you guys, even most of you guys. I basically built myself up. I started my career at the age of 15 years when I finished my SSC exams. Next day, I started my career. 23rd March, my exam finished, and 25th, I started my career when I didn't have even a mustache. It's as a 15 years old boy. I still remember. So that's how, because it has to be, you need to have a goal. You need to set up a goal. I come back to this point now, that you need to set up a goal, that what you want to be, what you want to do. And this goal must be, there should be a tonic for everyone's life. What is the tonic? Like for me, my tonic, I need to tell you once again, my tonic was basically when I was reading in class 7, I won 2 prizes for the school annual programs. One was for talking, one was probably for singing or something. And they gave me 2 prizes, and that were 2 books. Those days we were so small, everyone got some plates, glasses, the soap, shampoo, and all those kind of things. But I got only 2 books. I was so initially, the people were so shocked that I got 2 books. But I was, lucky that the 2 books I got, that really, worked like a tonic in my life. And one of them was 39 Great Men. That book, and the other one was this. You can see it. So this Think and Grow Rich. This book I got when I was in class 7. So what happened? And then there was some private issues in my life, in my family life. My father went almost bankrupt in 1982, I think, 82, 83. So disaster. I didn't have money to go to the school, and then continue my study. And that happened with all the brothers and sisters, 4 of them below me, down the line. And it was disaster. That's one of the reasons that forced me to go into building my own career at the age of 15 years after my SSC exams. But the day I left my home, I'm sure you all of you guys, those who are here, love their parents, especially their moms. Moms are like, for the boys, moms are something. It's uncomparable. You can't just. So I gave one word to my mother, that I will be somebody. Don't worry. So because when I was coming out of my house with a 50 taka from my father, she was crying like a baby, and she was really crying. And It was, if I was a normal emotional man, it would be very difficult for me to leave at that juncture. But I left. I left and I said, let me be someone and show you and show the world that I am somebody. So that was my catch point. That was my spirit. So that's something you need to have somewhere. And then I brought my 2 books with me. So I was reading always, not only one time. I think I read the books at least 1,000 times, probably, every time. And then I was dreaming how to become Abraham Lincoln, how to become Dale Carnegie, how to become Rockefeller, how to become this, how to become that, and I don't know, everyone. So that some of the big men become my fan. So I started dreaming to become somebody like that. And even when I was only 15 years, I used to dream that I must have my own helicopter. I must have my own airplane. I must have my own car. I must have my own big car, nice life, nice this, nice that, and so on. I must buy this for my mother. I must buy this for my father. I figured out that what my dad liked, what my mom likes. So I thought of that, okay, this one I must. Oh, this will please my mom like anything. So I must achieve this. This will please my father like anything. So I must achieve it. So that's the spirit I was going with. And nothing could stop me. And only one good point, that you are a good student, will not help it. The world is very, very competitive, my guys, I tell you. Very, very competitive now. The time I was doing business, I started business. I was floating on business. I mean, it was terrible amount of business. Now, before we talk about business, all this modern communication system made life easier, but at the same time, it has made life extremely difficult. I'm sure you will agree with me. Like earlier, when there was no internet, no email, and nothing almost, we were doing so much of business, I tell you, so much of business. Something new I created, and it just, click, 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 and so much of money coming like this side, that side. It's a lot of business. It's something new I launched for the world. But these days, see, to make a 10 cents profit from one item is a lot of hassles, because there are millions of people offering the same thing. Like, the way I can give you an example, for last few weeks or few months, I'd say 2 months, I decided to go for something that when the pandemic started, my mainstream business, like my resort, Ilinga Resort, is under lock and key, completely locked up, fully closed. My airline closed. We cannot fly. And then finally, last week, we chartered an aircraft because our pilot got stuck in Nepal. He's a Nepali. He went home and then cannot come back. So we chartered an aircraft with $30,000 last week to bring this one passenger from Buddha Air. We chartered an aircraft from Nepal and brought him into Bangladesh to fly down, or to fly our aircraft now. So just imagine, maybe a $200 ticket was normal, but we had to pay $30,000. So it's a big hassle. So almost these businesses are almost dead in a way, I must say. So I was thinking what to do. So I found out that there are business right now. What we have, I did a search on a priority basis. What can be done right now? I saw what are my pending work in my hand. So I try to figure out that last 6 months I did some work probably, and I could not achieve the goal as of yet. So I was trying to push them. The guys were traveling, busy, going around, and so on. So I try to close some of them, and I closed one of the deal from my previous communications. I try to close. Then second one, third one, that's how I try to close some of the deals that I, try to get. And just a moment, another person joined, another of my friend from Belgium. Okay, hello. Carmen, I have muted you, so you will not be able to hear you. But I'll let you talk later one for sure. But because we are in the middle of the discussion, so yeah, you were there the other day during our meeting, and nice to see you. Thank you very much for making the time to join us. Um, so as I was saying that. No, if we are thinking that we don't have things to do, then we will be, will not be able to do anything. We need to really think that we can do. We will be able to do it, and we need to prioritize the things. Then what is the priority? What we have. Like I have been talking to Bafi. Yeah, I just know this young man for last few weeks probably, and he wanted to be my mentee, and he want to learn something from me. So I said, okay, are you really hungry? The one word that catched me, he used this word that, sir, I'm very hungry to learn. I said, okay, fantastic. Then we go from there. So that's where we started. And we have been sharing almost every day a lot of information and a lot of things. And he has seen some of my workmanship and how I do it and so on. So he is now like a fire, He's like a fireball now, I think, to an extent. In next few weeks, few months, probably he will be somebody in Asia. So I think that's the goal. Well, no, this COVID-19, what is COVID-19? This is a virus, we know, and whether it has been gifted by God or it has been created by someone, we don't know as of yet. And we don't want to know much about this. The general idea is fine, but what is our target? What is our focus? That's important. We want to, whether we want to do research on this, we want to know about this and so on, whether it is 100% related to our life, no. So I don't want to, okay, we have a problem. We will keep a track on this, how COVID is going on and how it is damaging and so on and so on. So first of all, we need to save ourselves. So stay safe, number one. Whoever says whatever, don't listen to anyone. So you think on your own and use your judgment and be safe as much as possible. Stay home, be safe. That's the first thing. And then secondly, what is it really damaging your work? There you need to go for a repairing of damaging to seal the damages. How you can seal it, that how you can stop the damage. The other way, you need to have 1, 2, 3 alternatives that you need to have in hand so that you have, in one side something stopped, in the other side something has to continue to give you a better situation, to give you a better living and be focused on your work and achieve better results from your business. Now, how we can handle this? It's a big stressful situation with COVID. Everyone is stressful for sure. Now, we need to change our traditional thought process as we were talking. Now, we need to think many time extra. Like our will force should be burning will. What is the burning will? The one is we need to keep ourselves safe. The other one is we need to keep our work going on. And the other side is how we can benefit from this COVID. As you can see, there are millions of things are coming up. There are millions of business also evolving at the same time when there is COVID. I can see 2, 3 things that I thought, and I put my thought in place, and I got results. So one is the huge volume of medical supplies that have been moving all around the world from one place to other. The production, sale, logistics, leads, these are very important. So there are business insight in all these that I mentioned. Now, I think there are millions of people in the world now trying to sell masks, PPE, this, that, hand gloves, and so on and so on. There are millions of people, anybody and everybody. I get every day at least 100 over mails and SMS together that they have these items for sale. Now, I think everyone, this is saturated already. So I think we should stop wasting our time on that, because now the market is totally volatile. I mean, the confused totally, that the buyers are confused that who is the real seller, because there are so many layers of agents in between. That's why I was talking to some Indian guy yesterday about a business in Spain, and I was asking him, which layer you stand as an agent? You are, how many agents below you, or you are directly with the buyer? So, and he said that he's second layer. So I'm the third layer. Then I have CT here, she's the fourth layer. So, and there might be another layer. So it's 4 or 5 layers of agents in between. And then between the buyer and the producer, in between there are 4 or 5 layers of agents. You know, there are chances of winning this kind of contract will be very slim. So what I do is, when I see there are many layers of agents and people in between, I don't deal it. I don't take it. I don't want to waste my time on that. Forget about it. So I give up. So whatever is possible that between the buyer or 1 layer of agents in between, and the producer, 1 layer of agents in between. So maybe 2 agents in 2 ends and you in the middle, or I'm in the middle. 3, still very high though, but okay, 3 layers of agents with very slim profit margin is possible to win some contracts. This is something that I discovered, and it's working, this formula. But if it is 5th, 6th, you know, hearing somebody saying somebody saying somebody, it will not work. Because there are, you know, the buyer, they also can figure out, the Google has made life so difficult for every business, I can tell you, because even a kid, he wants to check the supplier of mask, he will be able to find out who are the, you know, top producer of mask in China, top producer of mask in Malaysia or Thailand and whatever, in India. You just Google and you get the list, and you send a mail or call them. It's easy, faster. So why they should come to you or come to me, and they should buy it from us, you know, with a higher price? So that will not happen. So okay, but there are certain time, you know, when the pandemic was happening and the other world was suffering, that they needed things very urgent, so they, you know, placed order to anybody and everybody. Like from Canada, they ordered 10 million of mask to one company that from China, and that has supplied substandard mask, and even the Canadian Prime Minister had to intervene on that and stop that, you know, put that 10 million pieces trash on the trash bin and ask China to take it back or whatever. So that was a certain period of time. And I think the next one is coming, something new. I'm sure you guys want to know about this. Then you need to, this is your short-term plan. This is, you know, this you need to plan short-term and earn some money out of this turmoil situation, so that you can help yourself, you can help your friends, families, and so on, if you can make some money. No, the second one is coming, as per, if you really read the news about from WFP, they predicted that there might be about 30 plus million people might die out of famine because of the food shortages and food distribution channel disruption. So that is a business here. Probably every country has its own stock. Every country has their has its own food secure, food bank kind of things. Like for 2-3 months, or even up to 4-5-6 months, some countries can survive with their own food in a stock, or with the short-term supply. But in long term, like those who are major food producer are having problems. Their farmers are not in the field, so there are difficulties. So the production is much lesser than what is needed for the world. So there is definitely going to be a food crisis every countries, I tell you, even in poor country, rich country, everywhere. Because say, for example, in America, they don't produce everything. They're bringing thousands of items and millions of tons of food every day, from different countries, fruits, this, that, vegetables, and so on. Canada, I think there are millions of tons coming from US, coming from South American countries, coming from Europe, coming from China. We buy all the fish from China mostly, some of them from Thailand, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, and so on. Like dal, chal, this, that, and all those rice and things are coming from India and other countries. So now all these countries are having their own problem to feed their own people. So that definitely going to be a shortage. Even people having money will not be able to buy food. I guess this is my prediction, that in next few weeks, probably in next few months, there will be money, but no food, no appropriate food at the appropriate time that you can get. So this is something probably all of our friends here probably can think about it and start working immediately after this meeting is over. Think about it and take a note and take some rest, and then start figuring out that which country needs what, or the country you are living in, what is needed in the local market. Say top 2, 3, or 4 items of food items that are needed from outside market, and then you try to source it from the countries that are producing the most and exporting the most. From there you can try to source it. There probably you will be having less competition, because people are still in the verge of medical supplies, the traders. Not many people are thinking about the food items, that this can create a disaster. Of course, some of the big guys and some of the smart people, definitely they are thinking, and they are in actions, of course. They're buying things in different countries and keeping it standby and so on. So likewise, I tell you one thing is Singapore government know that this pandemic will be causing disaster and so on. So what they're doing is, and also from the food, there might be, from the fresh food, there is a chance of contaminating further. So what they're doing is they're collecting a lot of, they're buying a lot of tinned vegetable and fish and meat to sustain for next few months, because they don't want to buy too many fresh things and then get contaminated and get infected again. So that's why they are buying these things. And some of my Singapore friends, they are sourcing it out for the government. They're selling it to the government. So I connected them to some Italian company, one American company, one company from Dubai, and all those. So that's something that I don't do it, but I have connected them. So probably you can think in this way, that this is one line of opportunities in the front coming up in next, say, from right now until next 1 year, 2 years, this business will sustain for sure. So probably you don't need to think of importing and so on and so on. You can even do a social e-commerce. How? Say in your area only, wherever you're living. Say if you're living in Uttara, probably you can trigger only Uttara and then do e-commerce in Uttara only. That there are many people that cannot go out. They don't have any male members in their family to go and do the bazaar. So probably you can offer them certain items that you can source it from somewhere from the old town and bring it, repack it, and do, sell it, resell it. The biggest thing is that if you're thinking that you are doing a small job, you are doing a substandard job, you are doing something very small, people will think, what people will think, that they'll see that I'm bringing things in my house and repacking and doing reselling and all those. So this will be awful. No, this is something wrong. That's my last point today on this thing, that we care for others, not for ourselves. We need to love ourselves. We need to care for ourselves, then what we want. Right? Today, if you don't have the money, I'm sure that those who you care and thinking that people will think that, oh, he's gone poor and so on and so on, then probably he will not be giving you a financial assistance. He will not. So why do you care for him? I mean, it's not necessary. We were thinking whatever. As long as you are doing things, what is 3 points I've maintained in my life: ethical, moral, and legal. As long as it is ethical, moral, and legal, I'm in it. Whoever is thinking whatever, I don't have time to look at it, frankly speaking. Whoever is thinking whatever about me, I don't mind. It's okay. No time, because if I want to, care about everyone's comment, everyone's thought process, then my life is finished to, talk to them and say, go for all the, countering my their comments and all those in these days. So it's better not to look at them. You do what you want to do. You plan what you can deliver. So that's one of the things probably I wanted to give you a hint to this business. And then think about your long term as well, that what you can do on a long term business. After the pandemic is gone, there will be a lot of opportunities. There will be a lot of business coming up. There will be a lot of, things will be shortage in the market, and not even the people that will be surviving out of this pandemic will be having a mental shock. So as they are not doing anything, they are just concentrating on Facebook and learning all negatives, all negative news. Today, 3 million people infected, 250, 60,000 dead, this country that must, we are more interested to look at that. But frankly speaking, I swear upon God, I don't see it even one time in a day. No. I want to keep myself updated, but every 24 or 48 hours, I just go for only 1 or 2 minutes just to see what is the situation, whether it is going up or down, where is the situation, that I want to keep myself updated. But I don't want to monitor this every hour, every few hours, or even every day. No, I don't have any interest on that. So don't look at these negative things at all. I mean, you don't need to. So stay positive. It's very, very important to stay positive and healthy. That's very important. So these any small things doesn't matter. It's not a problem. Even those who are living in a neighboring area, that you need to sell probably something and deliver on your own. Wear the mask. Wear the gloves, and take and go and deliver it yourself. What is the harm? Walk. That's good for health, that you are having a walk and you are doing your things and achieving results, making some money. That's fantastic. Of course, who's going to give you the money? This is very important. And in our life, I have spent or wasted millions of dollars in my life. I made millions of dollars and I wasted millions of dollars. Millions, I tell you. So much of money I wasted in my life. You can't imagine. I wasted, but it's the wrong thing I did. This is my own statement I'm giving, that I didn't do it right. It was because of my age, because of my emotion, probably because of my ego. I spent, where there was no need to go by first class. I was always traveling by first class. I was traveling with my own jet. It was not necessary. Just fancy, too fancy. It's not necessary. So because in business, every single thing matters, even a dollar, especially those who you are starting life. Like when I spend my money, I made the money and then I spend. But those who are really starting business in the beginning career, that should be business career, that should be really counting every dollar. That $1, if you don't have, like if you go to the store in Shopno or any grocery stores and see you want to buy a kilo of rice and you don't have even five taka, even 5 cents less, are you able to buy it? No, you can't buy it because you don't have the exact amount of money that you need. Nobody will value that you don't have 5 cents less with you and they will give you. No, these days it doesn't work. The stores are having fixed price and you need to pay for it. So every cent is very, very important to you. So the beginner should be saving as much money as possible and build business, build business, build business. So that's very important also to save money and reinvest the money into your business. So that's very important. I think this is one of the opportunity that food thing, any level of food is coming up. I'm sure anywhere in the world you are, there is, two things probably will remain, or one thing I would say that will remain in the whole world is the food. Even during the last day, probably we will be feeling hungry. So we'll need to eat whatever, regardless, whether we are sick, we are well, we are fine, we are in disaster, or we are at home, locked down or open down or whatever, it doesn't matter. It will be, we need to eat and go. We need to eat and drink. So this is very important. So there basically we can concentrate on this. And second is people care for their life. The second issue is that after food to live with, then if somebody says that you need to die now, will you die? I mean, none of us probably are willing to die right now, I'm sure. So that's second things is our health. So, healthcare. This is our second line of business. I think some of you, the young people, should think about starting some healthcare business. And there, basically, I had a lot of ideas. I can generate one or two of them to you so that you can think about it. Likewise, densely populated country and demographically who are changing, economically who are changing, and socially who are changing. In the Western world, probably in Belgium, in Canada, there are, the senior homes, that is run by private companies or by the government. In our world, in poor world, we say, what is the name we say? These old care homes. What do we say? This thing. The old care where these elderly, citizens are left behind by the kids and children and so on. So that is happening with even some of the rich people that have got a lot of money in the bank, the elderly citizens, and they don't have anybody to take care because the kids are living either in America, Europe, or Australia, or wherever, and even living in the same country, same city, they don't have time to look after the parents. So that it can be institutionalized in a smaller scale. Like you take care of, you launch a service with one staff only, one staff yourself, you appoint one person, and that also you don't need to employ with salary. You say that we will have a client that we'll need to take care daily basis, how many hours. Say you need to prepare a model first, and then you need to offer it to probably within your vicinity. Say offer 100 families, you will get probably one. So out of 100, one client, and then you engage this person that who goes and you charge the fees on a monthly basis. Give her or give him the majority, 70% or 80% of the fees that you're receiving. You retain only 20%, 30% of the fees that you get paid. So that could be, I'm just giving you a nutshell example. This could be a very, 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 very micro level services. The other one is due to COVID, there are many people are sick and many people will be getting sick. And there will be not only physical health, there will be mental health problem already. Many people are already suffering from mental health, and this will continue for, even this lockdown and everything is withdrawn and eased up. There will be issues with the mental health issues. So there will be some people will be needing a long-term, kind of medical and physical care. So there, basically, say, for example, if you want to launch a small services, you can have 2 nurses. It doesn't need much of the capital. I think with $100 or $200 capital, you can launch this service. But you need to work very hard. This is one thing that there is no alternative of working hard. There is no alternative of working through your brain. It needs to work really. It needs to think many alternatives. And then again, whatever people are thinking and saying, you don't need to care for it. If you can achieve these 3 things, probably you are in business even today itself. Like after you finish this conversation, you send 10 emails to or 10 SMS to your friends and family saying that I'm going to launch a service that will take care of the elderly citizens. If you have a father or mother, or if you have a relative that needs this service daily, with our people, I have a staff that can go, the caring staff that can go for few hours and do this, and my fees is like this. So give them an email, send 100 SMS or WhatsApp, or put an ad in the Facebook. I'm sure you will get the response for sure today itself. This is something you can, every single thing you need to start with 1. The numbers cannot be 1 billion in one day. It has to be 1 first, and then the 0 starts after that. So you need to start with 1. So start with 1 client and see how it can be scaled up. And that's how I started basically. When I started the security company, I started with only 1 security guard, 1 guard. I appointed only 1 guard first, and then 2, then 3, then 6. And that's how it is. And now today's Z4S is employing about 35,000 people in Bangladesh, and also about over 2 million in the world. So that's one of my company. I brought them into Bangladesh and launched this company under joint venture 100%. So we need to do this on a smaller scale, but then scale it up as time goes fast, and you keep on increasing, and your capacity, you learn from this. There will be mistakes and errors, but you will be learning from that. So those young people that are looking for business, don't come and put the hammer on my head and say that give me some business. I don't want to give business, but I want to give you something that nobody else will give you, and just try to utilize it right now. And this will work like magic for sure. Only you need to be prepared to do anything, everything possible for launching a business. You all can be a successful entrepreneur, I can see for sure. That's definitely you can be a successful entrepreneur. Think about these 3 things always: ethical, moral, and legal. Whatever is ethical, moral, and legal, you don't compromise with your moral, or you don't compromise with your ethics, and don't compromise with legal requirements and so on. So like for right now, as an emergency, you can do it personally, but when these things are easing up, when the life is normal, you ask for a trade license, then you do a company registration, you do all these things. But right now you don't need to. You are not doing anything unethical, you are not doing anything immoral, You are not doing anything illegal. You are trying to establish your business right now. So find out. I mean, there are a lot of people looking for jobs now. You just figure out, or just incorporate one or two of your friends only. You don't need to do it on a longer term. You just get one of your friends together and then start these things. Because every business you want to start at the beginning, you need to do it by yourself first. This is if you want to start in a smaller scale and without capital. Otherwise, if you have bigger capital, okay, you can employ people and do proper business plan and so on and so on. What I'm talking today, right now, is basically the micro industrial kind of micro business startup procedure. So that's how it is. You can start, and those who started in this way, in a smaller scale, they have grown bigger in life. Most of the business that you look at their bottom, and you will see that they started with one person, one staff, one business, one item, one thing, and then it grew bigger day by day. You scale it up. If you have more than 10 clients, you add up few more people and do this. So because we need to go as per the demand of the time. Right now, the demand of the time is healthcare. Right now, the demand of the time is food to feed people up and keep things up. So that there are, these are the more important issues at the moment. There are millions of other businesses that will be coming up, but let's not dream big, because like I have my mega dream. I shared with somebody yesterday. I shared with Arjun, I think, yesterday that it's my very personal thing, but to motivate her, I just shared my own dream. I have a mega dream, long term, that I want to be so many $1 billion owners, and I want this. That's my long-term dream. But at the same time, I have a short-term plan as well. I have a short-term plan, and at this time of life, either I have my own on oath of allegiance, oath. I take this oath on a daily basis. So you need to be, this serious I am. So when I'm in business, I'm in business. I this is what it is. There is not even 1% shortage of my intention or my will force or my dreams. Has no alternatives. It is only one direction. It has to be. It has to be. I must achieve. There is no compromise on that. Now, I think after this session, probably you can think of this. There are other small things that we will be talking, like how you can impress. Like the other day, I was telling also that when you are meeting someone, it's very important that how you conduct the meeting. Like if I'm talking to you and then I don't give attention to all of you, instead of I put my phone and checking and talking, it means I'm undermining you. So this meeting will not be successful for sure. You will lose immediately interest on this kind of indisciplined things. So when you go to meet somebody, to talk to eye, not look at this, not look at that, and then touch your things and then touch your nose and then no. This is not the meeting attitude. This is not. And right now we are in a private life, so it's okay. We are at home. But when you go for a meeting, go absolutely ready and be extremely sober, soft, and attentive. That's the first impression that you can create. Go talk to, look at eye, and not until the other side, whether it is a boy or girl, you don't move your eyes from his or her eyes until, and you will see this is a special power. I did not see even a president of a country could look at my eyes for 10 minutes continuously. No. Nobody in the world, I can tell you, nobody in the world could. I can sustain. I can look at your eyes and sustain for minutes, but nobody will be able to until somebody is more powerful than myself in terms of the confidence level. So look at the person that you are talking and try to concentrate and talk about the subject. And it's also very important that when we go to fish, catch fish, the fish wants basically all the dirty things and so on. And, they want all the flies and other things I can't even say. All the dirty things, the fish loves it. If you put it there, they will like it. If you put a strawberry, your fish will not take the strawberry for sure. That's not. Even if you put an apple, fish will not be coming nearer to it. It wants all nasty and dirty things. So you need to put that up. Probably some of wheat made rotten, the bread, say for rotten bread, which is completely rotten, cannot be consumed by human beings. Probably you just put it up aside and then you make some food for the fish. They love it. They love this kind of food, Likewise, in our village or in the rural or in our cities, the dogs which are not owned by anybody, the dogs, you give them some good food, they will not like it. You give them some bones and all those, they will love it. Like the cats, they like the bones of the fish more than the real-time fish. So you need to understand that what is expected by the other side. When you go to see somebody, you need to understand, you need to do some study immediately. You need to do in few seconds a study on what really the other side is looking for. So concentrate on that. And what is his weakness also? That's very important. That what this gentleman is, maybe somebody when you go to see, and then he will show up, he will say, yes, I am so busy and so on. I was very busy. Sorry, I maybe he kept you waiting for an hour, which is blessings. Not good, not bad. Some of us we lose patience. Even at this time, I take it as a blessings of life, because when somebody is keeping you waiting for longer time to give an audience, even after giving a fixed time, that means you can think that this man is already under obligation. If you cannot get business from that person, anything, either a business or a job or whatever you think, then you are very unfortunate. You must encash this situation, because when he keeps you waiting for an hour, he's already obligated. So he loses, mentally, psychologically, he's already on level down. He has to say sorry. And you need to encash this sorry. That's how I made I cashed out many sorries in life, I tell you, many. So when somebody is asking you to wait for hours, it's better. The longer you can wait, it gives you an immense kind of ability to absorb these shocks, because waiting is very, very dangerous thing. Waiting is really pressuresome. That somebody you went to see and then waiting in his office, in the PA room or in the reception, it's not so easy. It's very difficult. But at the same time, you need to. So then when he starts with sorry, you immediately catch from there and say, oh, thank you very much, but it's fine. And then don't waste your longer time. You go directly into the point in that case. But otherwise, if it is a normal timing, one-time meeting, and then you need to understand him, what he is interested to talk about. Maybe the gentleman, there are some people or some ladies, probably they want to, when you go and see, she's talking on the phone and saying, give the baby some milk and and let him sleep. Why is he crying and and all those? You can overhear that she's talking to her home, probably with the maid, because the small baby is crying at home and she's giving instructions. Cash there. So instead of talking to you about your business, that you came for a job or you came for a business or you came for a bank loan to this bank officer, you start from there. Say that, madam, how are you, and how many kids you have? I mean, I'm sure that she is not, because every woman is very weak on the kids. They want every female that has kids, if you talk about kids to them, I can guarantee 100% that there is only probably 1% exception that woman will not like that you are talking about her kids. They will hate you if you are asking, how is your boyfriend or how is your husband? Because to every woman, probably the husband is the worst thing in life, but the kids are the best. So you hit from there and say, how are the kids? You have a problem, madam? Anything that is needed to be attended fast? Please take your time and do it. Then you will see that she is telling, oh, no, my baby is too small. She is only 2 years old and, doing this and so on. My Kajer Beti is not able to take care of her. My husband has gone that. She will give you the stories. You don't need to ask. But you need to just ignite. It's like matches, it's like lighter. You need to ignite, and then this goes. So, success is, when I said, in my somewhere in my private website, I said success is simple. It's simple, but it needs a lot of ingredients, and these are all small ingredients. And this I have learned at very early age with my distressed, disastrous time in life. So that I want to impart, that I want to share, and so that you people can prepare right now and go into actions. And I don't believe in yesterday. I don't believe in tomorrow. I believe in today, right now. Yesterday, there were many yesterdays in our life. I think the girls and guys here, if you are 25, 30 years old, then already 30 years means, now I need to use my phone. Just a moment. If you are 30 years, then 365, 10,950 days you had in your life. And every single person have at least 1 million, 10 million thinking, 10 million happenings in their life. Every second your mind is thinking about something. And these thinking are basically all happenings, whether it happens practically or it happens inside your brain. Like you are thinking about somebody and you are giving a gully inside, probably. And, that idiot, told me something. That person, he didn't like it, or she didn't listen to me, or this and that one. You're angry with your mom and you are saying something inside your mind. So it's human mind is basically thinking always. So this 11,000 kind of days in your life in 30 years is past already. It's yesterday. And probably one of the day you had a very bad time. And if you remember that, then immediately your brain will send a signal to your whole mindset in your whole body. And you are completely in disaster within seconds. This will reflect in your mind and in your body, in your life. And then your actions will be bad. Like your lovely kids, if she's or he is coming and saying, hello, mom, and then get lost. So that starts from there. And probably so that's how our life is. So it's not only that in one side that you want to make money, you want to be happy, be rich and so on and so on. It's not. It's what is rich? Rich is something that you can dream a better life. That's rich. It doesn't need big money always. But of course, money is very important in life, for sure. It's very, very important. It gives you freedom. It gives you a space. Like today, you need to take care of your health. You need money. You need to buy food. It needs money. You need to buy house. It needs money. You need to buy car. It needs money. You need to have your insurance. It needs money. Nothing goes without money. So it's very important. So that's our, a priority in life. But at the same time, there are many other things that really add value to our life. To be happy, to be contented is very important. That's the lesson I have learned to an extent, and that I want to also disseminate to you so that you can have a better life. And I don't mind, the many things that are not within your control, and not try to control by yourself. I have been trying to rectify, correct everyone in the world. At my early age, at my young age, I was so arrogant. Arrogant means if there is, I told you that if somebody is giving me a glass of water, and if there is one drop of water falling from the glass, is fired immediately. If my driver, there was a rule that if my still the rule is valid, that if my driver is saying after I board the car in the morning, if he says even one problem during the journey until I disembark from the car first, if he says one problem about the car, then he's fired. Because this is his job. I'm paying him for that, basically, to make sure that the car is cleaned, the car is checked, the car has tissue paper, the car has this, car has that, car has water, the car has enough fuel, full tank or close to the full tank. There should be enough fuel. If there is not, the driver's job is to come 2 hours earlier. If need be 2 hours earlier, he should come and check the car and clean the car, and then take the car to the gas station, fuel up and bring the car and keep it completely ready. And then also start the car, switch on the aircon and check the air conditioner and situation, and then shut it off and just wait for me to come. If it is not done this way, if he says that, sir, there is no fuel in the car, there is no gas in the car, I fire him immediately. I fired many of my best possible drivers, even, because, but some of them really did a wonderful job. Most of them, they did wonderful jobs. And some of them, they were so punctual, and they followed me so critically, so effectively, that some of them are now, I think, very rich. Some of my drivers are entrepreneurs. I create entrepreneur. My security guard, I told the other day, my guard, who is, I can name, but I think they might be feeling a little bit bad, but that's my guard. I feel proud that I could turn these people to be, from my security guard who was securing my house as a guard, I turned him to be the managing director of a security company. I can give you the name. You can go and Google it right now. And last month he called me, and I was asking him, what is the security guard? He is not even a security supervisor. He has never gone to any college. He went to the school, and his father was, he was not doing well in the school. And then the father called me, he's my relative, and said that my son is a mokate and he's a vagabond, and he's doing nothing. He's making my life miserable. Take him and give him a job, whatever you want to do. So I said, okay, send him up. I have a job as a security guard. Is he willing to do? Then this fellow is a tall guy and under metric. And I said, you have no education, so you have no job, only security guard job there is. So he agreed, to join. So he joined, but he's a brilliant fellow. So he immediately, and I said that you are working here in my company, and never say that you are my relative. If you say anyone, anytime, anywhere that you are my relative, one thing come in my mind, and next morning you go off. My job was to give you a job. That's the only, I'm just holding your hand and putting up you into the platform. That's my job. Finish. Now sustaining, growing bigger is your business. And this fellow, he did it very well. And last few weeks, he was calling me, and I asked him, how many guards you have? He said, 2,300. How much money you make? And he said, 15 lakh. In Bangla, 15 lakh. I said, what? 15 lakh? He said, yes, 15 lakh, which is $20,000. USD a month he's making net profit. And I said, okay, fantastic. And how you are utilizing this money? Every month you are earning 15 lakh, $20,000. Where is this money going? He said, then he gave me an account. Yesterday, I was just cutting jokes with my wife because my wife also knows him very well. So I was telling her last night that I asked Kostrul about the money he's making and what he has done with this money. Then he said, he gave me an account. I bought so much of land in the village. I bought so much of land in my father-in-law's place. I bought a 5-story building in my father-in-law's place. Father-in-law's place in Barishal. Okay. Then he said, I have an apartment in Mirpur. I have an apartment in Chittagong. And I have some cash in the bank. Fantastic. And he's under matric, but his one child is going to this school, Scholastica, and the other one is going to the school or college, I think, Shahid Anwar. So you can see that he's an uneducated man, but he understands the value of the education. And since he has the money, he can send them there, and he has, but if he doesn't have the cash, no, his kids will be going to the primary school in the village, I'm sure. So that's how it is, because I saw him very serious. I saw him really, hungry for success. So he did it. Similarly, one of my driver kind of staff, he came from the village and asking for a job. I gave him a job with $100, less than $100, 5,000 taka a month salary. And then, he started. But the guy was very, very smart, very, very smart and very aggressive, 24/7, anything, anytime. If I was not getting anybody, he was my person to call. I know that even our general manager, directors, I cannot get anybody middle of the night, but I know Tipu can be raised. So my phone had Tipu's number always standby. Anytime I call, yes, sir, anything? Yes, do this. Okay, sir, I'm getting. Even something that is not within his capability, not within his discipline, not within his job, but I gave him some most difficult jobs. And then one of the day I declared that this boy is miracle. Nobody in the world can stop him growing big. Now he runs a car rental company in Dhaka, and I think he has 50, 60 cars in his fleet on his own, because I introduced him to IPDC. I introduced him to my bank because I took him with me because he was going with my bag all the times with me. And, when he was there and he was giving Salam Alaikum Sir and all those to the managing director of those bankers and all those, he saw them. So, and probably, he was always, sometime I sent them some of the documents or gifts, and then he had a chance, probably along with me, he had no chance to talk. He was always going and leaving my bags and everything in the meeting room, and then he was going back to the car or he was going back to the reception and sitting and waiting. But probably when he went alone to give them some documents, he got a chance, he was talking, and he built a rapport. And these financing companies, they found out that this boy is basically running the business, not Dr. Haider. He knows the business better than me because my business is to monitor business. I mean, I'm a business developer. I'm not operating a business. So when he went out and started his own business, he went to the bank with my reference. And, one banker called me and said that otherwise, how is he? Can I lend him? And since I was very happy, I told him, yes, you can trust him. You give him give him the financing, finance him the cars, and he will pay you off. I mean, he knows the business. He worked with me around 8 years, I think. And then I let him go and develop his business now. So even right now, I call him right now and he will be jumping on something. Even he's the managing director of the company, but to me, it's like my kids, So if I need something, I call him right now that, Tipu, I need 2 cars right now to go to the airport. Even he will drive and go. That rush. Well, somebody started with a 15,000 taka job, a young man that this story I must tell you. Then you should get some energy probably right away, instantly. And I'll tell you the name also. The what happened back in '97. I was a young boy, and I put an advertisement, and we brought Hertz Rent-A-Car in Bangladesh first time, that time. And we became the licensee of Hertz. I put an advertisement in the newspaper that we are looking for, a business development manager for Hertz. So there were many applications, about 200. So I was just looking all the applications and, saw whoever has sent a nice picture with a tie and all those. I have my own style of sourcing applications. And I was keeping some of them for interview, and most of them I was keeping on the right side to be parked somewhere by my stuff. And then I saw one CV. A boy said that he has finished his MBA from Boston. And those days, only handful of people educated in US going back to Bangladesh for jobs, or going back to the country to start something. And I saw this man has beard and so on, and mustache and all those, and this hairstyle is completely rubbish. I was very angry that, this boy, why is he, he's US educated, but again, his mustache and beard, he has not shaved, and his hairstyle is bad. I mean, how he can send a CV like this? So uncivilized. To me, it was uncivilized. So I put it on the trash bin next to me. But something happened. Probably God was controlling his luck. So few seconds later, few minutes probably, few seconds later, I just thought, okay, let me see the CV deeply. Then I, saw his CV, next pages, and I saw he educated from Notre Dame College and good school, good college, and so on and so on, and USA, and he went for good education and did obtain scholarships and did extraordinary results and all those. So I was very impressed. Wow, this is the boy. And I saw that he worked in McDonald's part-time and all those kind of things. And so in sales. So and also in a bank. I thought, maybe I call him. So what I did immediately, I called him on the phone, and he was living in Uttara. And his mother picked up the phone. Those days I had mobile, but he didn't have a mobile. So I called him with a land phone. And then I asked him, I was talking to him, are you after? Yes, sir, I'm after. I said, you applied for a job in Hertz, and I'm calling you for that. Can you come for an interview tomorrow morning? He said, yes, sir, I can come. What time? I said, 10 o'clock. So next morning, he came at 10 o'clock in the morning. I had a talk, and I asked, I was damn impressed with this young boy. I mean, he's so focused and so knowledgeable, so very young boy, but very focused. And I said, okay, I want to take you, and how much you expect as your salary? And those days in 1997, he said, sir, I don't have any expectation. I said, what nonsense you're talking? You must have some expectation. What do you want? He said, 15,000 a month. I said, it's too small. I mean, those days it was not too small, but as a beginner, he said, sir, I'm a beginner. I don't know anything about the job. And here I'm very frustrated already. I'm here for last few months. 4 or 5 months, I returned home, and with a big hope that with my good degree, I will get a good job, but I'm not getting anything. I sent at least 40, 50 CVs to different places, and no response as such. So I want to join you. I said, okay, you can join tomorrow. He said, I can join today. So, okay, you join today. So I made him join that day. I said, okay, you just don't need to work full day. You just spend few hours, and then, I introduced to my people and so on. And I said that this is what we are going to do. I explained, I spent a few hours with him and said that this is how it is and so on. So the best thing is that he had full clear concept about Hertz, how it functions and so on and so on. And he was in the US, and Hertz being a US company and very popular anywhere in the world. So he knew it very well. So next day he came, and we issued his appointment letter and all those. And he started. In 3 days' time, there was a family function. I had 3-4 days, I think. Later, I had a family function in Schwab Community Center. Those days, only two big community and best community center in Dhaka was the Schwab Community in Iskandar. That was the best. So I booked there, and I asked him, Aftab, can you help me out in finding fixing of the menu and all those? He said, sir, please leave it to me. I will handle it. Oh God, he did extremely well job. We were so impressed, myself and my whole family. So he handled this. I was damn impressed. And in business, he was doing very well. And I gave him all responsibility. I really gave him all things. I authorized him to do whatever he wants to do. So he was enjoying, I was enjoying the work. And, I think he worked with me for 7 years. And then something happened. He had a personal issue with some of my staff, and then went into a clash and so on. And then he said, sir, this is going to be a problem. And good thing. In 15 days, I called him and I said, after what I can see it's an injustice. 15,000 you asked for, I have agreed, but this is peanuts for you. I increased your salary to 50,000. From 15, I made it 50. And I said, okay, you drive one of the car. I gave him the keys of the car and said, this is full time for you, and so on and so on. You can take a driver and all those. So, and he was enjoying the job, and he made my life so smooth, so easy. And I never had to look at this business at all. He was recruiting good staff, good people, and so on and so on. So good management. And he established this company very well. And then during this problem, and due to this problem, then I called one of my friend and said that I was talking to Romo Chaudhary, this ranks guy. And I was telling Romo that he knew also after. I said, Romo, do you have a job for after? And he was saying, what are you talking either way? Why is he looking? You are releasing him or you are firing him? I said, no, that I don't want to let him go, but he has some problems internally with some of the staff that are feeling big issues, big problems, and he feels unsafe because his house was robbed by them and by these some of the hooligans. So I said, it's a problem. So he has decided that he should go away for a while or then come back, or he needs to go for once for a while. So I said, okay. Then he said, yeah, I have a job in my real estate division, and he can join immediately, and send him up. I will see him tomorrow. So I told Aftab to go and see him. So he went there. He joined us in Ranks Real Estate as the CEO. Initially, he joined as COO, Chief Commercial Officer, and then he became CEO. And from there, he joined Shanta Properties. And then from there, now he's heading one of the Beximco Group company, Beximco Holdings. He's the CEO of Beximco Holdings and getting 20 over lakhs taka salary with a BMW car. And in the middle, he tried to do some business. He opened up a restaurant in Tezgao, one of the best. I don't remember the name. The guys who are living in Dhaka will definitely know. That was one of the highest range of restaurants in Shanta building in Tezgao, Link Road. So this is about Aftab, So from 15,000, he is now 20 lakh. He's one of the highest paid CEO in Bangladesh. And that's how I can give you. He called me 3 days back, I think 3-4 days back, that he has been invited by one of the TV channel to go for a talk show. And he was asking me, sir, which subject to talk about and all this. I said, Aftab, you are still like a child. So you are behaving like that. You know better than me. Of course, you are sitting in Bangladesh and you should be able to talk. So he said, no, sir, you are the guru. So you should tell me, I mean, what should I mention particularly? And he was asking me, I think he's very meticulous. He was asking me these particular questions. So I answered him. And probably he's going to live discussion in some of the television channels. So this is a story I just wanted to share. I'm not giving you fairy tale. It's all my things are basically on the platter. I don't believe there's something behind the wall is ready for you. There is a heaven waiting for you. I don't believe on that. I believe what is you have on the platter here, ready to eat. That's how I believe, that's how I conduct my business. So whether it's a small, big, or whatever, I made a small money 2 weeks back, and I told Buffy, this young boy, my kids, that I made some money, and I shared the transaction slip to him, saying, and and he was shocked because he got on that day. He got a deal also. He made about a few $100s of profit, and then when he shared his number that I have made this much of money, then I shared my one, the transaction slips, and he was saying, "Oh my God!" To me, it's not a big money though, but still for him, I mean, he's a young boy, so it's a big money for him. So. And then yesterday I said, I got one more deal, a small deal. And he said, sir, I got a deal done also. So he gave me his figure, but I did not give him his figure, but I'll send you the invoice copy right now. You can see it. I can see that he really wants to build. So I'm looking for boys and girls like him, those who are hungry. Those who are not hungry, I thank you very much. We'll maintain friendship and relationship and so on. So it's fine. It's business relationship is fine. But those who want to be really my mentee and want to be with me and learn things and want to change 360-degree, that's something very difficult, and it's something very, very different. And those needs to be hungry for success. Those who are hungry. My friend Carmen, don't be shocked and surprised. You are still very young. It's too young. We are not old at all. We are still very, very young. So don't worry about this. It's your time is coming. I mean, it's you need to. You are one of the best, women I have seen in Europe, especially. Not too many Europeans are smart like you. No, I know tons of Belgian, Swedish, Swiss, Norwegian, Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, Polish, French, all these Balkans and so on, Finnish, who not, Germans, many women. But you speak so nice English, number one. You have a British accent of English, which is an asset. You should leverage this and catch this. Number one, you understand business and you are very particular. You are very particular and focused. That's very important. I do appreciate that. And with this kind of capabilities, I don't see any reason that you should be one of the best entrepreneur in Europe. You must be one of the best entrepreneur in Europe. I think you need to ask yourself, and probably we will have another one-to-one sessions these days. My apologies that you called me a couple of times and I missed it somehow. Because of the Ramadan, the timing is completely different. We don't sleep at night, we sleep in the morning and so on. So we'll have a discussion soon, and I'll tell you, I mean, that probably, there are 90% things are fine, and probably 10% things are really holding you back on somewhere. Something is holding us back. So that we need to, even in my cases, I don't say that I'm a perfect man. I'm still learning, I make the highest amount of mistakes in my life, but I don't regret for my mistakes because that's my learning process. I wasted so much of money on learning certain business. It's a very high price I paid, but I don't see the thing that it is all waste. I have learned a lesson that even at a very high cost, but it's okay. As long as I'm surviving, I'm alive, and I'm okay, I'm in good health, I think I have a faith that I can turn around everything and anything. Like, as long as I don't mortgage my brain, I mortgage everything else. It doesn't matter, no problem. As long as my brain is not mortgaged, I'm fine. I can turn around. This is what I know. This is what I know. So this is what I feel that all my friends here, that you should also know. That, okay, you lost all this business, you lost your job, you lost this, your parents are completely hopeless about you, and so on, so on. Thank you very much. You don't disrespect them. Respect them, but let them pause a while or go for a hibernation, and you show them the results. Because the world want to see results, that whatever, what you achieve, that matters. Anyway, I think I have taken a longer time, and you have probably learned things a little bit, or got some ideas. I'll be unmuting all of you, so and giving you a chance to speak, but I think not everyone in one go. So one by one, you can ask any questions, or if you have something to say, you can. Just a moment. Okay. I don't know. Mr. Meme, have you put yourself into mute? If so, then please unmute yourself. Because I cannot unmute you. I'm doing it, but it's not helping. Okay, fine. I think some of the people are still on mute.
So thank you, Haider, for all the compliments.
Go ahead, tell me.
Thank you for your compliments.
You're welcome.
The thing I want to add at your speech is that I think you are correct about a lot of things. But for me, in particularly in Belgium, everything is very arranged. And in Belgium, there is no such thing anymore than a little business. It doesn't exist anymore. As you are talking about the elderly homes, at this moment, about 20% of our elderly people are dying. So at this moment, we have an overcapacity of elderly homes and nurseries and elderly care. This is one thing. But as you are speaking about starting up a little business and then scale up, I think this is possible in particular parts of the world, but not in Belgium anymore. So for me, my focus would be to do this in another part of the world, in another, as you connected me with the guy in Mali, he was also telling me that he was moving from the United States to Mali because in Mali there is a possibility to do business with simple things and with things that will last at least 5 to 10 years. But in Belgium, everything is so arranged and there are only multinationals. Even a little grocery shop doesn't exist anymore. So I think that you have to cope with the country where you're in and the side of the world that you are living in. The thing that interested me the most is the thing about food. It's about the third time that you are saying that there huge food crisis coming up, which worries me because at this moment in Europe, there is no anxiety about food. But as you are repeating that there is a food crisis coming up, I think we need to zoom in that particular part and see what we can do.
Okay, to answer your questions, great questions you have raised. I know about this, that the Western world is completely structured. So the suggestion I was giving basically to some of my friends in Bangladesh, because in Bangladesh, nothing is structured as such. So it's still a playground. You know, the way they can start a business today, they want to start, they can start right now. But not in Belgium, not in Canada, not in Europe. No, that's a structured one. But for you, what from your previous experience, past experience, what I can say, you need to do the reverse. You need to figure out where you can source, or you need to really wake up some of your ex companies or some of your ex suppliers. And I will connect you to 10 of these consuming countries. Your consumers not in Europe. Don't look at the buyers in Europe. Look at the buyers in Africa.
Yes.
Look at the buyers in Asia. It's a reverse. It's not your business is not domestic. Your business is international. So
Correct. Correct.
So that I will give you the connection. We'll have separate webinar for that. We will connect.
But what I'm also interested, and this is more at the ethical, moral side, is to help in other parts of the world to make those micro businesses grow. Because I think that with my experience and what I can deliver, I can help in those microeconomics.
Sure, you can see some of this. All the guys and girls here joined today. They're all young generation, and they're all in business in one way. You know, they're all in business in a micro scale. Some of them, but this can be scaled up, and you could play a bigger role, because I know you very well, and I know your strength and weakness. I don't know your weakness. Probably you are very weak on some young boy, but I know your weak strength. What your strength is.
Champagne.
So I know your strength. So I think we need to leverage and capitalize your strength. And some of these young boys and girls will be able to take your advice also. We will have more discussions, and I'm sure, and also like as I say, that you are sitting in a very, very strategic location in Belgium, in Europe. You know, it's the heart of Belgium is known. Brussels is known to be the capital of Europe. Basically, it's the European Union headquarters, NATO headquarters. I mean, a lot of interesting things are there. So you should be looking at business outbound. This is what I would say. I'll clarify you further on this. We'll discuss about the strategic planning on that. I have a comprehensive plan already launched. Even Musa knows in Mali. I talked to him last week about this, that he should go to the government, and he was supposed to meet the minister. He was waiting for my proposals, probably. I was supposed to send a proposals, because I know that this is coming, and this is going to hard hit the most densely populated countries and the poorest the faster, because the rich countries will be able to somehow manage their food, like Europe, America will make their food available. If need be, they will airlift everything. But the poor countries where there is no logistics, and the airlifting, will be $8 to $10 a kilo, it's impossible for them to survive, So those are going to be the hard hit areas. So we need to really focus on that, like one of the countries, Bangladesh, one of the countries, Nepal, one of the countries like Indonesia, like Sri Lanka, all those densely populated, like Pakistan, partly India, but India has its own production, so they will be surviving, but they will not be able to export many things at this point of time. So the countries, those who are, sourcing their supplies from India, will be needing to look for other suppliers, like the rice coming from Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia probably will be, because under lockdown, the production has gone down already 30%. So this 30% already lost. And then again, they have their own domestic production, the domestic consumption, which is a lot. And so there will be shortage. They will probably be able to mitigate their own requirement, but for exporting, they will probably not be in a position. Right now, likewise, I'm trying to source out, I don't know whether Siti Khadija is here or not, but the hand gloves. Like Malaysia has put a ban that they cannot export. Thailand has put a serious ban that they cannot export. So, even there is production, but they cannot export because they are keeping it for their own domestic consumptions. So that's why the price is gone high, the demand is very high, the buyers are crazily looking for these supplies and so on and so on. So everything, and the distribution system, the logistics network is totally broken at the moment. So this will be making, even if you have products and goods, like I saw a report in the newspaper last week, that about 7,500 trucks loaded with essential goods and food items waiting in the border of Bangladesh to enter from India. 7,500 trucks loads are waiting, just imagine. And those trucks are waiting days and weeks. Now some of the goods probably is rotten completely, damaged 100%. They will not be able to sell anything. So it's a loss of somebody. So these will be the issues everywhere, So I was talking to all over Africa last week. I had a one-day serious calls to Mali, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. And I received 25,000 tons of wheat water, instantly from one of my buyer in Benin, that he needs 25,000 tons of wheat immediately. Wheat. So, and the other one is asking for 300,000 tons. Somebody called me yesterday and saying that 300,000 tons for Bangladesh. They want the wheat. So we are, structuring some kind of a deal. I will involve you probably into this game plan that I got a supplier from Turkey. A big company from Turkey is supporting. I can't handle everything. So I just, lining up and giving all my buyers. Like Uganda is asking for wheat, also 5,000 tons, and Kenya is asking for wheat. And they're also asking for rice at the same time. So that means there is, and in sometimes you need to be smart enough that you need to educate your client. The client will not, because they're already stressed. All these African leaders are now full of stress. So you need to go and tell them, hello, bang the door and say that, hey, guys, your guys will be dying without food, without medicine. So let's plan up these two things. So what is the suggestion? You just don't criticize, only criticize, but you just tell them also that the suggestions that, okay, I can supply you the wheat and rice or these essentials. These are the items that you need. That is, the popular item in your country. We can supply you these items. And these are the benefits we can give you. So we that's how I'm closing deals. I got this 25,000 tons order in this way. I just called him and said that this is time for you you are a big businessman of commodities, and you should buy and be well ahead of anybody else to have stock in your silos in Benin and Togo. And he said, yeah, that's fantastic idea. So I said, okay, fine, let's go ahead. And so he issued the order already. So that is something. I'm sorry, taking too long time, probably. Anyone else wants to talk?
First of all, I would like to thank you. It was a very good session, and thank you so much for explaining all these things so beautifully. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, and good to know all this participants who are today present over here. I have a few questions. As you explained the current situation that we are going through right now of COVID-19, it's actually getting worse in Bangladesh. And what you said that the food crisis, we already are in the food crisis. I mean, there are a lot of people in Bangladesh, they are suffering, they cannot get food. Even one of my friend, he was calling me 2 days back, he was telling me that he has this factory in Sylhet, and there are more than 400 to 500 factory workers, and they have built up a colony for them. So none of them are working right now. All of them are home quarantine, and they're in lack of food. I got to know this, that for 2 weeks, few of the families were not actually receiving any sort of food or any sort of food or commodities. So they were actually hungry, and then they had to go and then serve them food. So this is how it's working over here. People who are where we are living in Dhaka city or in the center of the city, we are not actually understanding that what's going on the other part of the country.
Mhm.
Lower portion of the country, the people over there are really, really suffering. So this actually has already started. We are already in a food crisis. So it's a very good point that you have mentioned. We should focus rather than running for mask and medical equipments, because those are right now we are feeling that this is necessary, but I think the main problem is coming, which is the food crisis, because if you cannot have food, you will not survive anyway.
Absolutely.
So researchers are thinking that, according to their research, Bangladesh researchers are thinking that more people will die in hunger than more people will die in COVID-19. So we are in a food crisis. That is true. Just say that we can start with providing a food, creating a food chain among our local area where we can get some what do you call it, so food supplies from other countries, and then we can distribute it among our local communities. This if we think like that, if we think of doing it inside the city, it's a bit difficult, because we already have some online food shops. For an example, we have Chaldal, we have Food Panda, we have Hungry Naki nowadays. So these are all the online shops who are actually who are already doing the work. But the main problem is people cannot afford it. There are people who actually, they're in crisis of money. They actually cannot afford it. But that's the thing. What I'm saying that so what do you think that from where should we start if we want to start? Because for an example, I live in Dhanmondi. I cannot start over here in Dhanmondi because we already are receiving all these facilities from online shops and everything. So how do you think that we can cross that that middle, the person who are already grabbing the market, they are already in the market. So how can we get into the market, crossing them and start our own?
Okay, you need to, they're basically, we are working on this for last 2 weeks, 3 weeks already. And I have launched an idea to my team on this. You can do it in 2 ways. One is community-based, as I said, like somebody living in Uttara, he can do it certain part of Uttara only. Then you are living in Dhanmondi. I know there are Shopno, there are Meena Bazaar, there are other big players, and they are selling it. And at the same time, there are still requirements. And I understand that they're not able to cope up the current requirement fully, because the people, those who are staying home, are basically your kind of people that are completely, educated, and those who are conscious, those who know what could be these consequences of this COVID-19. So if they go out and go for bazaar and all those kind of things, so they prefer to get things delivered at home. And a portion of the people that are really living below poverty line, they need to go to the bazaar and buy things from the bazaar directly with cheaper price. They will go for retail for sure. They will go for groceries buying. But the upper class is still, there is a big demand because this demand is endless in a way, I would say. Inside Dhaka city, it's if you're talking about the city, I think the city is having approximately 40 million population in Greater Dhaka, including Gazipur, part of Gazipur, Tongi and Ashulia and all those. Together, Uttara and until Sabar, there are 40 million people, I think, with the industrial zone. Ashulia and Sabah Refugees and all those together. In this side up to Narayanganj and Norshingdi. Not up to Norshingdi, but Narayanganj and this Kachpur Bridge and all those up to here. In this greater Dhaka, I think there are 35 to 40 million population. And out of this population, the dwellers in Dhanmandi, Gulshan, Baridhara, Uttara, and Bashundhara as well, Banani, these are high net worth people, and there is huge requirement. You can probably do in a micro scale, because at the moment the delivery is the biggest hassles. There is transportation issues, that domestic transportation. Like if you have a small warehouse in your house in Dhanmandi itself, like say for example, if you use your garage as a temporary warehouse to buy say 500 kilos of things, rice, and then put it in 10 kilos bag, you put it there and then deliver it from there. But the biggest issue will be with these delivery things. So first of all, you need to figure out who is your delivery partner. You can't just do it. You can do it. You can once, probably you can go, or you can send somebody to buy things up from the old town and bring it here into your house. And from there you can distribute it easily if possible. To kickstart your concept, to kickstart your business, instead of doing nothing, you can do at least this thing. Or if somebody else wants to do it, they can do it. But the most important is to figure out the partner for delivering. Either you need to contact Uber, or you need to contact the Pathao, or the other delivery service, e-commerce, e-courier or something. Those you need to contact and find out. This is the biggest challenge, and this is going to be the biggest challenge for you guys, because now whoever is saying that Corona is under control or whatever, you are opening shopping malls and all those for Eid Bazaar and all those. These are all stupid decisions and nonsense, simply. I tell you, there will be many people already infected, and there will be more cases visible dying, then only people will know and will be afraid. Now you can see already, I can see a good thing about Bangladesh, that people are realizing that things are not so straightforward. And that's why this Bashundhara said that we are not opening our mall. Jamuna Future Park said we are not opening our mall. Even your new market. These are all, the new market is occupied by all the illiterate people, but still I salute them, I respect them that they said we are not going to open our shops. That's something unusual in Bangladesh. I would not be thinking that this can happen. That gives me a lot of confidence that there are people that having good ideas, good thoughts, and not always meant for business. So I think with the shutdown of these whole malls and all, I think you still have a bigger chance. Now there are millions of items that you can sell online. And you don't need to go for many items. Like one of our e-commerce company will be selling only basic 4 items, only high quality oil, high quality rice, and high quality ghee. These 3 items only. Or in oil, we will be selling sunflower oil and corn oil and olive oil, 2 types of olive oil. So olive oil 2 types, sunflower, corn oil 4 types of oil. We'll be selling rice. Those are high quality long grain basmati rice that are good for diabetic patients. It is gluten free and less carbohydrated, so contents is less. So that is helpful for the people, those who have special health conditions. The price will be higher, but we'll be serving international branded one, the highest quality. No compromise on the quality. Those who are able to, afford this, they will be buying it. So that's coming up in next few weeks. It cannot be done overnight. Everything is ready. Buffy has the software and everything is ready, but the issue is we don't have a company, we don't have the products as well. We need to source the products. It's not from Dhaka, we cannot source. So we'll be sourcing. That's where probably I'll need help from Carmen. We are currently looking at sources from Spain and Italy to buy this oil and rice from India or Pakistan. So it will take its own time. Right now, if I ask the supplier to load the truck and send it to tomorrow, cannot. There are 7,500 trucks waiting in the border. So it's a situation. We can't be, changing this. So this will be making life more difficult. So, and this more difficult means more opportunities. So this is reality. It's a hard reality, but it's the reality that, if we get sick, it's an opportunity for the doctors. So if we don't get sick, the doctors earn no money. Nobody goes to doctor and see him. So it's this is something that you can probably do community based. Do it in a micro scale. Don't think mega at the moment. Nothing mega can work at the moment. Nothing mega can work really, I tell you, because of you can't do everything together. It's for doing mega things, you need to have other people involved. You need to have logistics involved. You need to do this and so on and so on. So it's tough. For your kind of economy, it is tough. So I would suggest all of you that are talking from Bangladesh, I would say that concentrate on this micro level, and because your country is not too much regulated at the moment. So nobody's going to stop you asking you. And when there is a necessity, I mean, nobody can stop you doing things. Nobody's going to stop. Rather, they will be very happy that you are doing it. So think about this and start with 5 clients, 10 clients, and see. It will be scaled up within no time, I tell you, because it goes from mouth to mouth immediately. If you supply one family a bag of rice, a bag of things, certain items, the next moment it goes to if they are happy, they will be sharing with the neighbors, with their friends and families. So you get repeated order for sure. So if you want to try this, you can try this. Nothing to lose. You try with a small capital, say 5 to 10,000 taka you invest into this. If you cannot sell it, then you can gift it to your parents for consuming at home. You ensure some food security at home at least. I hope that I could answer your question.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Rafi, any question or any suggestion, any information?
Thank you, sir. Actually, I have no questions right now, but I have some sharing.
Yes, we want to hear from you because you are going to be the next billionaire in Bangladesh.
Inshallah.
Wait, I learned something.
Okay, I have the first things is we know that the Chaldal, Shopno, all over the giant companies running now in Bangladesh. But first of thing, just imagine if you have no food in your hand, then how can you supply that? This is the first things. And we are worried about those giant companies that we don't cross them, not able to cross them. But if sometimes they have no storage, then how can they able to supply? They will be stuck. But in this case, if we have some storage of quantity of goods, then we can able to supply, right? We can able to serve. And if we selected some kinds of some sort of customers, selected customers, like not for the mass people, for the selected people, then it will be work. Like sir said that we are targeting some elite person, like the upper person, and they are our targeted area and direct customer. And if we will focus on them, then it will be a great response. and Chaldal, Shopno working for all, and they are selling all kind of stuff like small things to bigger price. And sir want to sell a specific customer and target customer, and we are focused on this customers, and that will be more effective. And if we identify the loop or the target people, and if we will work on them, then it will be work, I think. And the most effective and workable thing will be that if we collect some storage in the pandemic, after the food crisis situation, it will be clicked, definitely clicked, because on that time Chaldal maybe survive for their storage, Shopno maybe might be survive for their storage. This case we can click on them. I think it will be a great in future.
Thank you. I think I need to add up some more points about Farjana and your point. You don't need to do traditionally only the food. You need to go as per the demand of the market. Right now you are talking about Eid is coming, and I know most of the people are not in a mood of Eid, but still there are some people of the society in your community that definitely will have some, at least a Punjabi. So why don't you go and grab some Punjabis and put it on, take the pictures and put it on your Facebook page and say, Punjabis are ready to be delivered at your home, just call, or just call and pay, or pay on delivery, you know. Increase the price.
Cash on delivery.
Yeah, cash on delivery, and increase the price by 50%. If you're buying with 1,000 taka, you sell it 1,500 and see how it is. And delivery free. You pay the delivery man about 100 taka, right? Or 200. You retain 300 taka profit. I'm sure this will work. This is for Farjana. If you want to do this, you buy some 20 Punjabis first today. If you cannot sell it, then I will buy it back from you. Don't worry about this. You go and do this. Buy some good quality and good design, good color, good design, and as per your choice, and 10 of them. Take nice pictures and put it on the Facebook that Punjabi ready to be delivered at your home. I'm sure that you will find the buyer. You put it in LinkedIn as well, because the community in LinkedIn and community in Facebook is completely different. Facebook is common people, you know, or I mean, simple people, those who do not have the buying capacity as well. It's a mixed community. But LinkedIn is completely different professional community. You get a better response from there. So
that's a great idea, but very recently the main challenge that we are facing regarding, you know, putting up any product over on social media and try to sell them is to you know, deliver the product. Even I tried to order something online and they said that they will deliver me all these things after Eid. That's how it's going over here. I mean,
that's where you need to intervene and interfere and make your mark there. That's why I'm saying you make the money from there. You go into, after you finish the conversation with me at midnight and you sleep, tomorrow morning first thing you write down that tomorrow morning first thing you need to make 3-4 calls. You call this e-courier. Buffy can give you the contact number of e-courier and reference. You call them and ask them that you need certain deliveries in certain time, and they will do it. Even you use the Pathao service to deliver your goods. I'm sure they will deliver these things. Deliveries are challenging. That's why you need to play smart. You need to be smarter than others who are saying after Eid. So you're delivering before Eid and from tomorrow itself. like this. Once you have the Punjabis with you, you take pictures and sell it, and then delivery, you make sure that you have the delivery people. I think this is one of the things I'm saying. Food is, of course, in bulk, small, big, all kind of food will be required for sure in your country or in anywhere in the world. For sure, that is for sure. I mean, if it is not for sure, what else I can say? It's a reality. So
Basically.
there is other things also. So this is a short-term deal that you can do. It's to build up your confidence level. It's not that you need to get money. It's not that you need to, do business and for your living. It's not the case. It's the case that under this current situation, how you can achieve something. Achieving a goal. That's what I'm telling you, that achieving goals and proving yourself that yes, your ideas are working. Yes, you can achieve. You can do it. It can happen. So that's your experience. You have this experience. Build up your confidence level so that you can do bigger things. Scale it up. You can do other things as well. So like I'm telling you, the front coming is the mango from Rajshahi. Think about it. Think about the mango. Just contact somebody in Rajshahi. Get the mango from Rajshahi directly. Those who are not sprayed for and this formalin and other things are not given, fresh mango. You tell them that you pay them 5 taka or 10 taka more per kilo, but you want the real-time good mangoes. You collect get some good mangoes and resell it. Put in nice pictures and resell. Sell it in advance even. Finalize the price and sell it with 50%. Don't sell cheap. Don't go for a competition. You are not there for competition at the moment. You are premium. Think about the premium only. You are premium, and people have to pay a premium price to you if they want your service. They want your product. So look at that community. Look at that segment of the customers in the market.
I have a question for Buffy. You mentioned that you have, I think Mr. Haider has mentioned that you have started you have a software or something like that. You're trying to work it out. Is it for this purpose?
Yes, actually, I have, because I am working on. I am a software engineer. And I have some sort of things like e-commerce platform, Daraj, like a traditional website, web application, mobile application that you are using for ordering other things. I have those things, those stuff actually.
Okay, all right. So I'm just asking, just for information. So do you source, like, from where are you gonna source all this basic food things that you're planning to market? Have you found the source yet?
Actually, not yet. I'm working with Sir Haider Sir by supporting all kind of technical stuff, and in future, if the Sir suggests, then I will do it.
You want me to interfere here? My input? Okay, this is something that came in my mind for last few weeks as the food crisis is going to be looming up. And as some of my friends said that they are very interested. And as I can see, some of my relatives and families, when they come to Malaysia or to Thailand or to Canada even, they're carrying back rice, oil, especially these two items. They carry back with them 40, 50 kilos in their in an extra luggage, because they travel in business class and they have 2 bags. So they don't want to carry, and they have only handbags. So, or sometimes one suitcase with 10, 15 kilos or 20 kilos, and they get, say, 60 kilos of loads. So they are carrying about 30, 40 kilos of good quality, this rice I'm talking about. They're carrying also the oil, this sunflower oil, and also the corn oil and also these olive oil, high quality olive oil. They buy it and pack it up and put it in the suitcase and they carry it for their own consumption. That means, and they're paying a lot of money. Sometimes the weight is higher and they pay $10 a kilo for extra weight. So because they take it and they see 5 kilos extra and they're paying $50, so that because to them, money is not a problem. The life is more important. So that's why I thought of launching an e-commerce, very limited capacity e-commerce with very limited items, 4 or 5 items. And that's where I have basically launched the idea last week, finally. It was inside my mind last week, only last few days back, I think 4 or 5 days back. I had a Zoom call with all my team here, basically. I have Shah Alam, he's absent here in this room. Momin is also absent here, and he's not here at the moment. I think they're praying or whatever. And Bafi is basically, I have segregated who will do what, So we'll have a very dynamic team that will be like, one will be the managing supply chain system. The international supplies, I will be looking after and connecting them. And from there, basically, Shah Alam will be triggering that. Bafi's job is, he's active part of this whole game plan, but his job is to ensure the online shops completely functional and responsive. So any orders coming, any new items coming, or to promoting the item and to keep the our platform afloat, that's his business. He will not know how much we are buying, how much we are selling, how much is the delivery, and so on. So there will be, Momin will be responsible for the logistics and deliveries. So that's his business. He has to do that. So I have formed a unique team probably that they will be functioning on this. There will be some other guys also joining. So I have decided to launch this new platform, new companies with 10 investors, 10 people, including Bafi will be also a part of it, and Shah Alam and others, everyone, all these 10 guys will be part of the company. They will be owning the company, in fact, including myself. So I'm creating a team. I'm creating a team of entrepreneurs. You are most welcome if you want to join. I'll send you the details later on, probably. Sharing the concept paper I have prepared. So this is keeping the highest class, because out of these 40 million people, or say in Bangladesh, we're talking about 200 million population. If you're talking about 1% of this 200 million is about 200,000, right? Or 2 million. 2 million. Out of 2 million, if you're talking about 1% of this 2 million is about 20,000.
20,000.
Out of this 20,000, if you're talking about 1%, is 2,000, is 200. So initially, we are talking about 0.050% of the population. So we are not looking at even any percentage of market. We are triggering 100 clients initially, then scale it up in 3 months' time up to 1,000 clients. Because we are not triggering these common people. We are triggering only high-class people. Likewise, a liter of oil, liter of sunflower oil is probably, a liter of palm oil is probably 130, 140 taka or 120 taka.
145, something like that.
Yeah, but 1 liter of sunflower oil from us will be costing him 500-600 taka probably. But that's 100% genuine, 100%, no compromise, non-compromised oil. 100% those who are, cholesterol-free, fat-free, this-free, that-free, and all those. So that's what we will be serving, the premium quality, premium money. They have to pay premium. So this is what we are triggering now. And this has to go online soon. We are just organizing, I'm working with the suppliers in Europe, where I will probably need Carmen's help. I will talk to you later on this. the other side is Buffy is preparing the platform more onto our brand name and all those. The Shah Alam is preparing to register the company and have the legal name and all those, and documentations, banking and all those kind of things, and import license and export license and so on and so on. And the other side, the team is working also on the logistics, like how to supply and where to find a warehouse and all those. Given this difficult situation, we are still working, and we should increase our intensity. So if you are interested, you are most welcome. We will talk about it later on. Anyone else have any more questions? No. Is Mr. Waliullah here, or he has left? I don't know.
Can't see him. I guess he left.
He left. Okay.
Or the connection could be broken.
Jahid also left for the load shedding.
Okay. That is. I think there is a bad weather also in Dhaka because.
Yes, he is now in village.
It's raining.
Yeah. Shah Alam was sending me a message that he has no connections, so he cannot join.
Let's meet again in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that this has been useful. Don't make me happy. If you are too happy with me, then means you have learned nothing. That's my policy. That if you are unhappy, then I know that you have learned something.
No, it was a very good session, and we really appreciate that you have taken this initiative and contacted us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay safe.
Soon.
We'll be joining soon again. Take care.
Stay
Bye-bye.
safe. Bye. Take care.
Bye.